I'm going to show you how to restore a wood floor that has been covered with carpet. Sometimes people use carpets or vinyl tiles on perfect wooden floors because they either can't afford to refinish it or don't want to go through the hassle. Refinishing a wooden floor is not only expensive but it's also time consuming and requires a lot of safety precautions. The area of work must be sealed from other rooms to avoid dust from penetrating everywhere. Inhaling fumes of sealer and varnish can be harmful. Avoid staying in a house or apartment that has been painted with polyurethane for at least 5 days. We start with pulling the carpet, unrolling sections, and cut from the part underneath. Use gloves and crowbar or a hammer, and avoid the sides of the walls that may contain tacks that secure carpet to floor. Now remove tacks with a hammer and a chisel or a flathead screwdriver, and make sure you remove all nails. Now start sanding using a heavy-duty drum sanding machine with rough grit paper. The lower the number on the sandpaper, the rougher that it is. I started with 18. After the first coat, you want to go with a 30, a 60, and then an 80 sandpaper. To finish using the drum sanding machine, you want to finish up with 100 grit, very smooth sandpaper. After using the drum machine, you want to use a vacuum and vacuum the entire floor. You want to use a HEPA industrial grade vacuum. After that, we move to the edger machine, which is a much smaller machine to use around the walls and the corners. You want to use the same principle that we use for the drum machine, using 30, 60, and 80 grit sandpaper. We then sweep and vacuum again, and we apply the sealer and let it dry for at least 2 hours. Now we use the buffer machine with an abrasive 80 to 120 buffing sand disc to remove remaining dust and bubbles left by the sealer. After we finish buffing out the entire floor, we want to use the vacuum and pick up as much as possible, and then we want to use a lightly damp mop to pick up any little dust that is left. After letting the floor dry, we apply the polyurethane with a clean applicator. We follow the same lines as we did using the drum machine. After we apply the first coat of polyurethane, we want to let it dry for 12 hours before we start applying a second coat. When applying the second coat, we want to let it dry for 24 hours and another 24 hours if we want to apply a third coat. I hope you have enjoyed my video. Under optimal conditions, wood floors should last a long time. To maintain a wooden floor, it's best to use a damp mop and not use too much chemicals. This maintains the floor shiny and longer lasting. Bueno, ¿cómo era?
Los mexicanos son más yacas. Oh shit. Mira, mierda. Es lo que le pasó a eso,
Bueno, do not try this at home. Every time you do this, get a professional, okay? That's where I'm coming.